Today I'm making some soup, and I'm making some chicken foot soup. So as you can see, my chicken is washed, and here, so I make a cut right here in the middle here, because some you bite down in here and it tastes slightly raw. Because if you know how to cook properly, then you will know that your tastes are different. So you can just make a cut right here so that when it cooked, it tastes how it's supposed to. So now I have some pumpkin and I have some garlic. All of these I'm gonna put together all together in one time. The reason is, when I'm making my soup, I don't depend on cornstarch to make it thick and nice. I only rely on my pumpkin. So this is why I have all these pumpkin, and I'm gonna put them in all together at once. So I don't mind if it doesn't bother me if it wants to cook and melt out or mash out, whatever. It doesn't matter. I just need the color and also the texture, the rich texture from the pumpkin to be in my soup. So I'm gonna put all these in together. So let's go. Okay, another tip before I put all these into my boiled water. I love to put, depends on what kind of meat you're cooking, I like to put some garlic in. The reason is, I don't like, for instance, to be cooking chicken foot or some other kind of meat that is, you know, no matter how you wash it, sometimes still has a slight rawness. I don't want to come in my kitchen and smell it, smelling like it has a scent that's not so like the actual one you're looking for. So I like to at least put some garlic in there so that when I step in my kitchen or I'm somewhere in the house, I can smell that lovely scent coming from my kitchen. So that's why I always add some garlic to certain things that I'm cooking. So now I'm gonna put these all in my pot. So here I'm adding my chicken foot to this water. As you know, as usual, if you want, you can just put it in a pressure cooker pot and let it cook faster. Soon I'm gonna change to a bigger pot, but for now I'm just cooking them in this pot right now. Not a bother to me, because these, as you know, these pumpkin, they're gonna be mashed on their own, or you can just take them out and crush them. When it's cooked, if it's not like you want it, because you want them to disappear in your soup, like you just want the color from it and the texture, what you can do is just take a fork or something and mash them. So I'm gonna cover this and let it cook. So here's my pumpkin and my chicken foot, and this is cooked. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna add whatever I'm using in my soup today. So I'm gonna show you what I'm using. So today I'm using some cho-cho and some carrots, and then I'm gonna peel. I have a piece of yam here. This is where I peel all my stuff and throw. So I'm gonna peel this piece of yam. As you can see, it has dirt on it, so I have to put it away careful, because as you know, these yams in Jamaica, they are from rich soil, so it always looking dirty, but all that is no problem. I'm just gonna peel it and everything is okay. So here's my container. This is how I'm gonna put my yam in after I've peeled it, to wash it before I put it in the pot. Then here I have this is some flour and cornmeal to make some dumpling. All I make in this house is cornmeal dumpling. I don't do flour alone. I have to put some cornmeal. And this is what I'm gonna use to season my soup. Some scallion, thyme, hot pepper. Normally I would use a red pepper and a green one, but this one is very hot, so I'm just gonna use one. And the flavor from this pepper is really nice, and a piece of butter. So now I'm going to peel the yam to put in. So here it goes. So you would hold it like this and start to peel. As you can see, our inside is very clean and nice. But as I said, I'm going to wash this, so it's not a problem. And you peel like this, go straight around. So here's a yam, and here's a tip, guys. when you're making your soup, whatever you feel to put in there, feel free to put it in there. You don't have to say because your grandmother or your mother used to put a certain things in their soup means you have to put it in. You're cooking your own meal now. I mean, we're not really living with parents anymore, so you can cook it however you want. If you want to put dashi, cocoa, banana, whatever you want to put in your soup, whatever you like, you make sure put that in there. And that's a tip. You don't have to go old school to say I'm using this and that. Do it your way. This is what I want to use today. And in further videos you maybe see me make soup another time and I use total different things. So just make it with what you have and what you like. So I'm gonna cut these into small pieces to put in my pot over there. So here they are, all clean. I'm going to wash them off now and then I'm going to put them in. So here it goes. So here I'm adding my and look how clean they are. Now I'm going to add my remember when our grandparents or our parents used to make soup, they always used turnips and carrots. Those were the days, and as you know, a lot of us, we didn't like turnip at all. We really didn't. Not tasting so good at all. Let's spin this around. Try to get these that are cooked from the bottom to the top. Just like this. You get these that are cooked already. You just put them get them to the top, and the ones that are not cooked, they will go to the bottom. So there it is. And as you can see, my pumpkin is starting to mash. But as you know, as you go along, you can just turn it around like this, and the pumpkin is crushed. Look at this. Look at how pretty my soup color is already, and I don't even add any cock soup or anything to it. This is what you want when you make a soup. Make sure it has a lovely pumpkin color, and make sure you get natural color from your pumpkin and natural texture instead of adding cornstarch. So that's the tip I had mentioned. Just make sure you put enough pumpkin, because that's where a lot of people go wrong. They didn't put enough pumpkin, so I rely on my pumpkin for that. So now I'm going to make the dumplings. What I'm going to do, I'm going to combine all this together like this, because you want to make sure that salt and cornmeal are spread evenly through the flour. So that's what I'm doing here now. I'm going to pour some water to make this. If you see me throwing a lot of water, don't do that. Take your time and pour it a little by little. But because I'm so experienced, I know I'm not going to spoil any flour in here today. So but just take your time. Just pour a little by little. If you are not experienced and you don't want to get your dumpling to be, you don't want your dumpling to spoil. You don't want it to be soft, that it can't form into the right dough, and you can't form any dumpling from this dough. So take your time. And here's my dough. Now I'm gonna wash my hands and come back there, because that's how I make my dumplings. I wash my hand first before I carve them into small dumplings. So here's my dough. Now I'm gonna carve small dumplings from these. And a lot of people struggle with how to make their dumplings, but trust me, making your dumplings is not a big deal. As long as it come out in the shape of a dumpling, trust me, that's fine. So I have a lot of ways of making dumpling myself. Depends on my mood. Sometimes I take the time out to make it properly. Another time, I'm not saying it's not going to come out properly. I'm just saying I take shortcuts sometimes. Because making dumplings, you really have quite a few ways. Sometimes I do it in a way that's really fast. For instance, if I want to make it fast right now, trust me, look at this. I'm just going to have it in my hand like this. Okay, so for instance, if I'm in a rush now and I want to make a dumpling fast, I'm just going to use my finger like this. Very fast. Just very fast like that. Done. Very fast. Let me show you another time. I'm just going to have it in my hand. I like to use my left hand to do a lot of things even though I'm right-handed. So I'm just going to turn it over like this. The edges, turn it over while I keep turn it around in my other hand. Then I'm just gonna flat it like that, and I'm done. I'm gone. Some people, they do like this. They roll it in a ball, and then they try to flat it into a dumpling like this. Me personally, my signature style I've learned from my mom is I use my palm to make it. I do like this. Meanwhile, I'm putting in my palm like this. I'm also turning the dumpling around with this other hand. There it goes. Perfect. So, like I was saying, I've done 3 different styles right here. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter as long as it come out in the shape of a dumpling. It doesn't matter how you want to make it. So don't let nobody saying to you, oh, that's not the right way to do it. There's no right way to do anything in making dumpling. Don't let anybody tell you anything. As long as it comes out in the form of a dumpling shape that you want, do what you want. Another thing is making a dumpling. You can make them and put them on one, whatever you're using, a plate, a pan, whatever. But you can put it on it, all of them at once, then you go where the pot is and then you put them all at once. Or you can just make them one by one and put them in at the same time. It's your choice. A lot of people don't do it like this. Make it and put it down, because when they're ready to take it up, it's stuck on one. But the thing is, if you have formed your dough in a good way from first, then you don't really have to worry about how badly it's gonna stick or if it's gonna stick completely. Because look, I'm gonna take up these. None of them are gonna stick because my dough is nice. My dough is not too soft, it's not too hard, it's just perfect. This is just a perfect dough. Look at it. You see how soft and nice that is? So that's the problem. So I hope everybody is learning a few tips and tricks from me. So tell somebody about Myss Brown. Like I've always said, tell them to come over here. There's something that you can learn. Mostly, why you don't hear some tips and tricks from me is because you haven't watched the video fully. If you had watched the video fully, I'm telling you, there's something come up in it that has to do with a tip and a trick. So that's it, guys. I'm going to put these in my pot over here, but I'm doing all of them at once first. Then when I go over there, it's easy. So here's my dumpling, and now I'm going to put them in the pot. So let's go over here. So now I'm adding my dumplings. Are you seeing that soup? How pretty it is? And it hasn't even finished as yet. Look at that. Look at that. That is how you boil good soup. And don't always put them at the same place. Try to put them so that when you put them in, you want to get them back in the shape. That's another tip. You want to get them back in the shape that you put them in. If you keep putting them on each other, when you turn it around, the fork or the spoon or whatever you're using gonna curve them into something different. Always find a spot in the pot that if you put it, it can go deep like that. If you keep putting them, adding them on each other like that, then it's gonna be a problem. Try to find space in the pot to put it. I'm gonna stir this up. And like I always said, try to stir from the bottom. Try to stir from the bottom so that what's on top can go down. Now what I'm gonna do now, guys, normally I would wait for some time to season my pot, but I'm not gonna do that. I want my soup to catch all those flavors from the vegetables that I'm using. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add my scallion and my thyme and my pepper. I'm not going to put the butter in as yet. I'm going to add the butter at another time. Also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some salt to this. And remember, when you're boiling soup, cock soup, it's already salty, so you have to know the right amount of salt that you're putting in. But you definitely need some salt, because even though the cock soup is salt, it doesn't have enough salt to cover. Adding some salt to this. I'm just gonna stir this up. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna let this cook for about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna add my cock soup mix to this. Don't put in your cock soup. That's another tip for you. You see, I'm really doing well with this this video and all my other videos. I'm really teaching here. I'm really teaching. For all who didn't know, and even if you know, I'm sure you had you hadn't done it like this sometimes. So what you can do is don't put in the cock soup all at once with everything that you put in right now. Give it some time, because cock soup really don't need a lot of time to cook, you know. But that's where people go wrong. The pour it in now. What you're going to find is, what's happening is, you really need to eat from this on a high flame right now to cook all those, the dumpling, the yam, whatever I put in. You don't need that for the cock soup. So what you're going to do, you're going to wait until these are cooked, or almost finished cooked. Then you're gonna add your cock soup that time. Then you're going to turn down your flame, because if you don't turn it down, when you finish, you're gonna find that all of the cock soup is in the bottom of the pot. That's where y'all, even sometimes you see people cook and you notice that all the cock soup is tucked in the bottom because it wasn't done the right way. So don't ever put your cock soup in with all of this. Wait until it's cooked and then you put it in. Turn down your flame and then you pour in the cock soup and give it about 10 minutes and then it will be okay. So here I have 2 cock soup mixed in this plate, and guys, if you can use more than one, use more than one. That one thing is, if you can use 2, use 2, and depends on the amount of soup you're boiling also, because you may need more, depends. So now I'm gonna add my soup and my butter. So here's my butter that I'm adding, and guys, if I tell you something right now, only if you know, you know. Right now, I could drink this just like this without even adding the soup mix, and it tastes so perfect. I am telling you that. This right here, I could drink without even adding the mix, and it tastes so good. Like I said from first, get your pumpkin right, the amount, get your seasoning right, and then everything will just flow naturally. This is so nice. Because I tasted this, and trust me, if I was, say, I didn't want to wait, I could really drink this without the mix, and it tastes so good. Now I'm going to add my cock soup mix to this. Now look at this. What you do, you try to stir it around, but next what you want to do is make sure you get under the bottom of the pot, because you don't want it sticking, because I know it's going to try to stick right away. Keep stirring the pot from the bottom. Instead of just using the spoon to go around in the pot like this, get the spoon to the bottom and keep stirring, because I'm telling you, these soup mix are so easy to stick to a pot bottom. So that's what I'm telling you. Just keep stirring the bottom. Then what you're going to do, you're going to turn it down. You're going to turn this down. Look at this, guys. This is so nice. This is thick and rich already. And you don't want, wow, just turn this down for about another 10 to 15 minutes and your soup is ready. Just like that, your soup is ready. Just like that. Look at this. This is rich soup. Another time when I boil a soup, I'll do another soup for you in another video soon, or in time to come. There's many kinds of soup that you can boil. This is just one today. And say I wasn't using chicken foot. As you know, you can go through the same process with this, with chicken or whatever you want to use. So I'm just going to turn this down and let it stay to simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes more. Here's my lovely chicken foot soup. Look at this, guys. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Look at this. This is lovely. I'm going to stir and show you. Here's my spoon. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Look at this. This is rich. Look at that. No water. No watery soup. Look at that. This is nice. Look at this food. Everything is lovely. Look at this. Everything is nice and lovely. Just tell somebody about Miss Brown. Tell them what I'm doing over here. Tell them to come over and enjoy some of these lovely dishes that I'm making. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and tell somebody about Miss Brown. Also, if you want to get in contact with me, my information is in the description below. Thank you all for watching.